Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to visit George Eliot's grave. So George Eliot is the author of Middlemarch, one of my favorite books of all time. And when I found out that her grave is close to where I live, I just had to go there and visit it. And I found a lot of things about the cemetery where she's buried. It's actually a place where a lot of famous people are buried. So I'm gonna go there and take you guys with me. So let's go. So the cemetery where I went is called Highgate Cemetery. It is a famous Victorian cemetery located in North London. It opened in the year 1839 and has an impressive collection of graves and monuments. The cemetery is divided into two parts, the east and west part. The east part is open to public, and that is where I went. The first grave which I recognized was that of Douglas Adams. He's an English author and is best known for his book series, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. As you guys can see, visitors have left lots of pens or towels. I think it is in reference to some of the items from his book series. The next monument we went to was that of Karl Marx. He's a German philosopher and a social theorist. He died in London in 1883 and is also buried in Highgate Cemetery. I was obviously looking for the grave of George Eliot, but I did find some really interesting graves. I had a map which helped me in finding the grave because there were lots and lots of graves in this cemetery. The real name of George Eliot was Mary Ann Evans. The grave is marked by a simple headstone that bears her real name, Mary Ann Cross, and her date of birth and death. So on her grave, the first part of the inscription is from her own poem, and it reads, "Of those immoral dead who live again, in minds made better by their presence." So the grave right next to George Eliot's was that of Elmer Stewart. I think she was one of George Eliot's good friends, and it was interesting that her grave was right next to George Eliot's. So I wasn't really sure what to do next once I had seen George Eliot's grave, so I took out my map and started looking for any familiar names. I also found out that Highgate Cemetery has been used as a location for a lot of films and television shows. It has been used in the 2009 movie adaptation of Dorian Gray, in Jamaica Inn, which was a BBC adaptation of Daphne du Maurier's novel in the year 2014, and actually a lot of other films as well, because the cemetery has this atmospheric Gothic architecture and just stunning nature surrounding it, which makes it look really spooky and haunting. And being there in person was also a very spooky experience. So the graveyard is open from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening. It has an admission ticket, which you can obviously get to come and visit the cemetery. It was really interesting to read different kinds of inscriptions on the various graves. I also spent some time reading in the graveyard. Almost 170,000 people are buried in 53,000 graves in Highgate Cemetery. So a lot of people come and visit the graveyard, bring flowers for their loved ones, etc. It was interesting to see that there was a lot of traffic at the cemetery. People had come as families with their kids and just browsing through nature and looking at different graves. I never imagined I would visit a Victorian graveyard, and visiting it was such an interesting and amazing experience, especially because I got to visit George Eliot's grave. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's not a conventional booktube video, but I thought it was really interesting considering there are a lot of authors and writers and poets and activists buried in this particular graveyard. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to see you all in my next video very soon. Bye.